Hello, this is Greg Pingle with Cisco Systems. Today I'd like to just go over some quick troubleshooting tips using our Adaptive Security Device Manager on our ASA5500 security appliance. Some of the things that I'd like to just help you with is some of understanding some of the rule enhancement features with identity-based networking, some of our monitoring and reporting enhancements with ACL troubleshooting and creation, and our packet capture and packet tracer for troubleshooting packet flows going through the appliance, and some interface customization that may make you more efficient when you're using this tool. First, I just want to let you understand what's new with our identity-based firewall. This is new as of the 8.4.2 operating system, and we've got the ability to now use objects that we get from Active Directory, and that can be user and group objects are proxied through Active Directory to what's called an identity repository, which translates that user or group object to IP address or addresses and dynamically populates the firewall on the fly, so as users move around the environment or are mobile, that we always have their address in the ASA for our access control entries for dynamic updates and not having to deal with static IP addresses for users that now are much more mobile. We also have what's called fully qualified domain support, where in access control entries, both in source and destination, we can have fully qualified domain names like yahoo.com or facebook.com, so that we don't need to, again, figure out static IP addresses for those that might change out on the web anyways. The way this works in our viewer here is here's the view from ASDM in the access rules. You can see that we've now added a user field. This is for the import of the Active Directory users and groups, and again, this can be source or destination. And we also have a domain name field that you can add just like an IP address, and that's for, like what I said, in the fully qualified domain filtering, and again, that can go in source and destination fields within an access rule. To show you some of the ASDM features, I first want to show you one of my favorite tools is the Packet Capture Wizard. Now this allows you to have a sniffer, but it's better than a sniffer because it's like two sniffers. You have the ability to capture packets on two interfaces at a time, so you can see before and after what the packets look like as they are processed through the firewalls. There's various amount of ways you can do this with existing access lists, or you can specify just an ad hoc parameter to create a source and destination filter as you see fit. We also have the ability to take your packet capture after it's done and export it to Wireshark or a sniffer application. So if you're more comfortable using a more familiar tool, you have the ability to look at anything that accepts a PCAP file in the protocol analyzer application. Another handy tool is the packet tracer. I like this because this allows you to prototype access control entry rule creations and apply, and before you apply them, test out to see if they're going to work or not before you apply them to a running configuration. And it takes it through and helps troubleshoot what part is going wrong if it does fail, or if you have a success based on what you plan on doing for an access control entry, and is a great tool for non-disruptively testing configuration changes. Some of the monitoring enhancements is the correlation between our syslog viewer and also our access control list view. So we have the ability to look in syslog. We've got details that are now new with explanations, recommended actions, if any, on specific syslogs, but we have the ability to say, if you look at a syslog event and you want to see what rule is causing the effect of that syslog event, you can click on the show rule and it will take you back to this screen and highlight for you, say if it was this rule, what rule was causing that entry. So you have a correlation between your syslog and your access control lists. Then you can also do another similar thing, kind of the opposite thing, is that if you see a syslog entry that you want to disallow or allow, and you want to create a rule from that, you can select that and create a rule with this button, and it'll take you through a wizard that allows you to create an access control entry based on pre-populated with the information that was in that specific syslog event, and then again it will apply it back into this field. One other thing that I found that's handy in the ASDM is by default this diagram button is not selected, but when you turn that on it gives you a nice view of a graphical representation of an access control entry, and it allows you to see the flow of the packet, interfaces that the rule is applied to, the direction it's applied to, and what's the action on the rule and the protocol. So it gives you a nice graphical view to help very intuitively understand what specific rules are doing as it looks on the firewall. So those are some enhancements that we've been added to recent versions of ASDM, and with that I'd like to conclude this presentation and thank you for your time, and thanks for using Cisco. Have a great day.